Oscar Wilde was an Anglo-Irish playwright, novelist, poet, and critic. He is considered one of the greatest playwrights of the Victorian era. Wilde was a prophet of the aesthetic movement, which emphasized aesthetic values more than moral or social themes. Oscar Wilde was born in Dublin on 16 October 1854 to Sir William Wilde and his wife Jane. Oscar's mother was a successful poet and journalist. Oscar's father was an eye surgeon. Oscar had a elder brother, Willie, and a young sister, Francesca, who died at the early age of 10. He was educated at Portora Royal School, 1864-1871, Trinity College in Dublin, 1871-1874, and Magdalen College, Oxford, 1874-1878. While at Oxford, he became involved in the aesthetic movement. After he graduated, he moved to Chelsea to establish a literary career. On May 29, 1884, Oscar married Constance Lloyd, daughter of a wealthy man. They had 2 babies. To support his family, Oscar accepted a job as editor of the Woman's World magazine, where he worked from 1887 to 1889. His first and only novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, was published in 1891 and received a quite negative response. Besides literary accomplishments, he is also famous, or perhaps infamous, for his affairs with men. He died of cerebral meningitis, penniless, in a cheap Paris hotel. Dorian Gray is a 2009 British fantasy thriller drama film based on Oscar Wilde's novel The Picture of Dorian Gray. This version is directed by Oliver Parker. Between the movie and the original story, there are many differences. For example, the love story between Dorian and Sybil Vane. In the movie, Lord Henry provokes Dorian into testing Sybil's morality by seeing if she will have sex before marriage. Lord Henry says she will, but Dorian believes she's too good to agree. He tests her, and at first she says not. Then she comes back and agrees, because she doesn't want to lose Dorian. When she does that, Dorian rejects her brutally, and she kills herself as a result. In the book, Dorian rejects the girl when she is no longer able to act well, and she kills herself by swallowing acid. The protagonist of the book is described with blonde hair and light blue eyes. On the contrary, in the movie, the actor has got brown hair and dark brown eyes. In the movie, there are too much explicit sex scenes, while in the book, Oscar Wilde just makes allusions about sex. In the movie, we can watch an explicit homosexual scene between Basil and Dorian, while in the book we don't know exactly what happened between them. In the end, while the book is focused on the psychological aspect of the protagonist, in the movie there are lots of unsuitable horror scenes. Dorian Gray is a fascinating young man whose beauty fascinates an artist, Basil Hallward, who one evening paints him in his office where the story starts. In fact, in that office, Dorian meets Henry Wotton, a cynic and charismatic lord that reveals to Dorian the sense of beauty that is the highest aspect of the genius. It's extraordinary, but also temporary. So Henry urges him to live his youth intensely. Driven by Lord Henry, Dorian gives himself up to the search of passion and pleasure. Dorian doesn't tolerate that he gets old while the picture of his friend Basil doesn't change. So Dorian expresses that he wishes an eternal youth, and magically the portrait grows old. He gets his wish, and the picture shows a gradual disfigurement. Dorian continues to live only for pleasure, letting people die because of his insensibility. When the painter sees the corrupted image of the portrait, Dorian kills him. Later, Dorian wants to free himself of the portrait, witness of his spiritual corruption, and stabs it. But he kills himself. In the very moment of the death, the picture returns to its original purity.